What up, fam? We are live. I'm trying to go live on IG too. Let's see. Let's bring the lovely Miss Carla in. What's going on, IG? Okay, just let me go live on IG too. How you doing, Miss Carla?
I'm good, love. How are you?
I'm what I like to call excellent. Let me grab my little water right here over here real quick.
Yes, sir. I get it. For some reason.
Let me hit Facebook up and make sure this is on the setting that it needs to be before we get started. Because for some reason it does me like that, but hey, we ain't mad. Okay.
Say that again.
Say what now? You breaking up a little bit.
I was trying to see what you were saying. Say that again.
I said I'm going to edit the
Can
privacy
you hear
on.
me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Trying to make sure. Let me.
All right. We live. We good and live.
Yes,
So
sir.
so look, before we get into the topic tonight, how you doing, Miss Lady?
Look, always doing well, babe. Always doing well. Just been busy, busy, busy. I did my door dashing thing today, so I was out there dashing.
Oh, okay.
You
So
already
let
know
me
I'm always grinding. I'm always up to something.
it seemed
Um,
like you're a little loud
but
tonight. Is your mic?
I had a really say that
It's,
again.
it seemed like you're a little loud tonight. Is your mic up loud?
Oh, I don't know. Am I? Hold on, let me see.
I'm just asking.
Let me see because I don't even know where that
Now it
control
sounds
would be at. Let me see.
well. It sounds good now. It sounds good now. So it might have been
Okay.
some on my end.
Okay.
So check this
I
out.
don't know, sir. I'm not sure.
We're gonna get right into the topic tonight. We're gonna let you introduce the
Yes, sir.
topic because we want you to introduce the topics, and then we want you to describe what each one is, and we're gonna get into it from there. Because I got my opinions on what each one is and how it relates and compares to love and lust and da 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 da. So go ahead and do your thing.
So welcome everybody. I'm your coach, Carla Nicole. And tonight we are going to talk about lust affairs versus care relations. Instead of calling it love, let's just talk about care. How about that? I think a lot of times we lose sight about the difference. So
Mhm.
let me just explain why we have talked about this on occasion. Almost, it seems like every session we have, we've talked about this. But I think the reason it comes up so often is because this signifies that in relationships, we tend to lose sight on giving a care about who we are supposedly with or in relationship with or who's getting access to us. But a lot of times we don't talk about this part because we just automatically assume if we're bed in bed with someone, we automatically care, and that's just not the case. So lust affairs, let's signify what that means. Lust affairs mean that there's no real outside concern out of that bedroom for you. And it is just primarily to resolve the heaviness of the lack of sex and
I
sexual
like
behavior
that.
in your life.
I like that. Go ahead. All right. That's what lust affairs is. It's to
That's what
resolve.
lust affairs are. So
I
they're
would
very
say,
simple, but you have to be very honest in them or they can get very confusing. And you
but
also
we
have to make sure that you pay attention to the mental health of the
mhm.
person you are engaging in intimacy with them.
Because I was
That's
about
what a
to say
lust
we don't
affair is.
always be honest. So lust
Always
affair.
be honest.
Now let me give you the male definition of that. I like when she said heavy. She said this motherfucker pretty much don't care about you at all outside of the bedroom, and that thing get hot and heavy when you need to release and bust.
Yes,
So I'm giving the
absolutely.
male version of what she said, you know what I'm saying, to make it real simple. So outside of the bedroom, you ain't nothing. But you know what?
Right.
People be so tied to that. But we want to move forward with, and now we got caring,
The care
lust.
relations.
Go ahead with the care
So
relation.
care relations is where you have a very high devotion towards the betterment of the person you are intimate with. So outside of the bedroom, there is a concern for them. There is always an access to them.
Mm-hmm.
You share your intimate, most thoughts and deep concerns with them. You definitely have a solid, usually delicious friendship with them. So the care relationship, I believe, supersedes love affairs, but we won't go there. But yeah, it just supersedes
Mm-hmm.
love because the care is an umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
So it really comes from honing in on selflessness.
Okay. Now I wanna talk about that. Now I want to give my opinion on what you just said.
Okay.
Uh and then we might use our own terminology for the night for the sake
Okay.
of the people. Now, what you said, care relationships, that those are people that I would say you really like. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
When you care for
Yes.
someone, you like them. Now, the love affairs, the lust affairs, that's what I would call love, honestly. Those lust
Yes.
affairs, I would call love. Now, the reason I say that is because those care relationships, those people you like, if I have friends that I like, that I genuinely like, I don't go into the word love. Now I'm gonna explain to you why I say that. I have people that I genuinely like, women that I have slept with that I genuinely like,
Mhm.
not being funny, they could call me now and I could see them or I could call them. But the
Mhm.
people that I have loved, we hate each
Mhm.
other. You know what I'm saying? The people that we was in love with, the people that we were in what this so-called monogamous relationship, when that shit is over, you hate each other. And it's really because it's a certain ownership you think you have over each other. But when you like somebody, you could see them every year at homecoming. They could be married. Now, get what I'm saying. What you
Mhm.
said about those care relationships, I want to talk about how I have seen people in my family, say one of my uncles, be married, right?
Mhm. Right.
And bring his side chick home. And I
Mhm.
know his side chick had that care relationship more than the wife that he was actually with,
Mhm.
because when he got sick, his wife did one thing and the side chick did so much more. So
Mhm.
I want you to talk about and get into the dynamics between, do you have to love somebody to care for them? We just gonna just dive into it, just talk, because this is such a great topic, because I say it all the time. I don't want you to love me, I want you to like me, because I
Mhm.
got people in my family that I love that if they call me, I wouldn't get out of my bed for them. But I know people that I like that if
Mhm.
they call me, I would break my neck to show them that I would be there for them. So
Mhm.
I want to get into, why do women per se feel like if a man is sleeping with a woman, which is this lust affair, and I'll
Mhm.
explain how men view that, and I want you to explain how women view that. Why do women
Mhm.
think if a man is sleeping with a woman that they have this care bond? Or why do we look at situations where we see where we think people don't have a care bond because they're not married?
Well,
I know
your
that's a
first
lot.
question. No, your first question is key. So you first ask, why do women get offended? Because let's make sure that offense is the
Yeah.
number one reason why women take issue. with their mate, their partner, their lover, their lovers, moving on or being intimate with another woman? Well, because in the woman's world and in the woman's mind, when we're sharing our bodies with you, then we're in love in our minds with you. Not always, but I'm telling you why they get an issue with this.
I got it. I got it.
So, what a woman signifies sexual energy to be exchanged, they believe love is the component of that reasoning for the rise and the desire to want to be with each other. It has to be love. There's no way you're sleeping with a woman and you're not caring about her, loving on her, wanting to be with her. Why would you do this to me? Isn't that what they say?
Yeah.
Women always say you did that to them. You're making love to another woman, but she says you're doing that on me. You are doing this on me. So she takes offense because she hasn't sat down and talked to any real men. She hasn't understood the male mind and how the male mind works. I just recently watched on TV, now not TV, on the internet, DMX impregnated another woman on his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And his son was just grief stricken,
Yeah.
appalled, angry, just furious with him. And he said, there's a difference between effing and loving.
Yeah.
And his son couldn't compute
Because that's
because his son was raised by
a woman.
most of the time actually programmed by the mother that love and sex go hand to hand. But that's not reality.
So can we dispel some myths tonight? Because what you just said, that's what women tell men. But as
Yes.
men, the reason we don't give a fuck, because we know that's a lie. We know that you're victimizing yourself. So what
Yes.
I want to say for the men, and look, we're going to have a real honest conversation with me and you and being open.
Yes.
As a man, when a
Yes.
woman act like she's tying sex to love, and I know I haven't done a motherfucking thing to make her love her or even really like me, I will treat her like shit because I know you're
right.
lying. So what my thing is with men, there's some we have called post-nut clarity. We have this lust affair. A man can lust for a woman, chase her, take her out, give her trips, do everything to get it. But once he come and see her naked, instantly everything we felt for her is gone. That's a lust affair for a man. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? Now that this woman has went on the trips and the dinners and has been wooed and she done got her back cracked, now she's saying, okay, I need more of this. So this
Yes.
is when she pretends. This is when
Yes.
she pretends with the love thing. So when a
Yes.
woman does that, we drag their ass through the mud. I'm being honest. So
And
when a
that's because the woman, and can we also put in here that she is infatuated,
mm-hmm,
aka dickwit.
mm-hmm,
That's where that comes from. So when a woman is infatuated by the man, she gets very it's almost like she can't see beyond the sex. And now she's romanticizing. When you're apart, when you part ways, she's stuck.
mm-hmm.
I'm going to explain to you, and I want all the men on here to hear me. A woman that is involved sexually with you and she has not mastered her emotional health, her emotional mastery has not been handled by her, she will stay stuck mentally in that love scene with you. And she will keep hitting replay in her mind, replay in her mind over and over and over again. So even when you're not present with her, She's stuck in the last love scene you had her orgasmic, that
Hmm.
had her beyond what she's ever had before. And once a woman gets there in that love scene and is stuck hitting replay, you don't understand why she is getting clingy, why she's becoming a problem, why she's getting obsessed,
So, Carla,
because she didn't see it coming.
let me ask you something. This is where I think this is the first time I see and I understand what you're saying, but we're calling it two different things from men and women's perspective. What
Okay.
you see is her stuck in that love scene, playing that last scene over. She's making that so wonderful because she's
Yes.
not getting anything from that man that feels like love. So,
Right.
what I'm saying is, I think that's a desperation.
Yes.
Meaning, I haven't met a guy to treat me this well in a
Right.
while. He
Yes.
seems like a decent situation on paper.
Yes.
So, although he's not floating my boat like he should or doing for me like I think he should,
Hmm.
I must make this man think this is love because I want a relationship now. And
Absolutely.
I don't think women understand the women that just keep it real. They end up fucking with the dude for so long and developing this care affair. What is it?
Their
Care relation.
relation.
So it's almost like when a man see a chick is down, and it can start off as a love affair and it can
Hmm.
be good sex. And when a man
Yes.
see a chick is down,
Hmm.
after a while, and she don't bother him and understand the situation and ain't lying, acting like she all in love and dick whip, a
Yes.
man kind of be like, yo, shorty, you all right. We
Hmm.
accidentally fall into a care relationship with a woman that could just fuck us and don't bother us.
Right.
But for some reason, women think once they give us some pussy that they got to make us think, I like you because I gave you my body. And we don't believe that shit. We don't
No.
believe that shit. We
You just
believe
said it.
we like fucking just as much as men or more.
I found out from several men because I coach men.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times when I sit down and have conversations, because I really am into hearing men, not just allowing them to speak their truth to me, and I only want it in the segments that I want to hear it. But I love listening to him and then explaining to him what I heard, because in a female's mind, we can take a lot of what a man says and pretty it up and make it look this and say that. But no, I wanted to sit back and talk to the man and say, well, now, what is it that a woman may not be, you know, physically what you desire, but what would make you say, even though I'm not physically attracted, this woman has my time, my energy, and my space because she gives a damn about me, not what I do for her. She doesn't even ask me for nothing. And I see more men will go far beyond women that have the care relation with them because they're not on the clock. They're not taking their time clock. I'm sorry, their what do you call it when they're not clocking in with the man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're not clocking in with him. They're just wanting to be with him. They enjoy him for real.
So
And
let me
he's like, "What is this? I never saw this." And a man will find himself more willing to be engaged and give her more access to his space because he's like, "You're not only not bothering me, but you're here because you want to be, not from what I'm doing, but
mhm,
because you really, like you said earlier, you have a fondness for me. You
mhm.
like me. You enjoy our time. You enjoy our space, and you want to be here."
Yeah,
Totally
it's so
different.
crazy because it's like I say it all the time. Men either we fall in love at first sight, we know we want that woman just from seeing her. We don't care
Right.
about nothing, about her credit score, nothing. Or men end up fucking somebody and just wake up
Mhm.
one day like, man, this chick is dope, man. I love this chick. And I
Mhm.
think when you can have an honest sexual relationship, that's the foundation of having a honest, because most of the time you fuck for all that other shit happen. Like you
Right.
fuck before you really know a person. So if
Right.
you
Of
can
course.
have an honest sexual relationship, everything else can stack up from there. And I'm talking about hey, let's go get some STD tests or some shit. Or is we fucking raw? Or are you fucking anybody else? Are you dating anybody else? What do you see
Right.
about monogamy? When y'all can just be cool like that and be
Mhm.
friends, you genuinely begin to care for someone that you are friends with. It's just like, for example, the care relation.
Mhm.
I know for a fact there are people that will let their friends live with them. There are people that will go out of their way. There are people that will be there when their friend on their deathbed. But if their grandma was sick that they love, that they were like, I'm working, I can't take off, I can't make it down there. I gotta wait till the funeral. You know what I'm saying? So I really believe that friendship, that care relation, that happens through true honesty. And
Yes.
so hard for men and women to talk honest when women feel like they have to fool men as if that's the only man I'm talking to. You're the
Mhm.
only guy I'm having sex with. And we'll do a poll.
Right.
We can ask the men. It's one thing I say all the time to women.
Mhm.
You know, like you talk to women a lot and I talk to men a lot. We talk to both, but
Right.
I tell women, if a man asks you, you know what I'm saying, are you seeing anyone? Are you speaking to anyone right now? And you
Right.
say no, nobody. No, I ain't even. We instantly say, I'm just gonna fuck her and leave her. Because you're fucking lying.
Right.
You're fucking lying.
And
It's like,
what man do you know, and Javon, what man do you know wants a woman that's not desirous by any other man?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And vice versa. So when
You
we
feel what I'm saying? A
it's,
man is gonna look at that like nobody else wants you, just me.
you're lying. And so if you can't tell the truth that yeah, I'm entertaining a couple of calls, you ain't got to
Right.
say y'all fucking. You could just say
Right.
something like, yeah, I'm entertaining a couple of guys, nothing serious. At
Right.
least we know you ain't telling a motherfucking lie as if nobody hollering at you. And I think you're fly. If nobody hollering at you right now and I think you fly, you fucking batshit crazy.
But my biggest issue that I've noticed in my own personal experience with after I you remember when I told you I had came into my just over the top, just got off the, I want a relationship and got into just being on purpose.
Yeah.
I realized that I was really, really very blunt and upfront about who I am as a woman. And I remember just telling dudes like, listen, I just don't play around. I'm
Mm-hmm.
real crystal clear. Like I have a man in my life. But let me ask you, like I ask men, I ask them all the time, when you see me, do you really think I'm out here by myself? And then
Absolutely.
the dude steps back. He's like, oh, damn, I never thought of that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, and to look at you, I know good and goddamn well, you're being covered out here. Know
Exactly.
how I know? You're not out here thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
Women and men, we show through how we carry ourselves if we're out here covered or not. Whether
Exactly.
I'm married, covered, with someone, with a couple, whatever. I show based upon how I deliver in my mannerisms,
Mm-hmm.
how I speak to men when they come and approach. I'm like, look, I'm not in any lack in my life. But let me explain. I am open to connections. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to close off being connected or understanding how we can flow based upon fear because I don't have any. And I don't have to be in any high demand. But I've actually had men say, I have never had a woman be this upfront.
You
I
know
don't
what
know
it
what to do
is?
with this. And it's actually bruising my ego because women always are at me. I'm like, I don't come for men like that. But what I do is I love to relax it and let it evolve on its own.
You know what it is? Men are used to women telling lies. And I tell women all the time, when you tell the truth about something, you're a shocker man. You're really shocker man. You basically said what I used to tell women when I would approach women and they was like would say something like, "Oh, you probably got somebody." I said, "You know damn well I got somebody handsome as you know
Absolutely.
fucking right I got somebody." You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I know you got
Exactly.
somebody
You
too.
know I'm covered out here. Yeah.
You could tell when a woman
That's
ain't got
why you want me.
yeah, but how they advertise themselves, and that's something women don't understand. The way a woman advertise herself when she go out, or we could tell if you fishing for men, if you want men
Absolutely.
to take care of you, or if you just fucking, and we approach you
Absolutely.
accordingly. We hunt
Right.
different women accordingly. I would hunt
Absolutely.
you totally different than I would hunt
Right.
some women. You see what I'm
Yes.
saying? But that's what
Exactly.
we're hunting. And y'all are allowing y'all self to be hunting. And ain't
Right.
nobody running no game on nobody. Ain't nobody tricking nobody. And ain't nobody a victim. I
No.
think the biggest problem in American society, especially with Black relationships, is just simply fear. I'm
Yes.
afraid if I tell you the truth about who
Yes.
I am, you're not going to
Yes.
want me. And not even
Absolutely.
understanding, you're going to meet somebody that's just like you. Like people say all the time, I use me and my wife, for example. Uh,
Right.
you know, poly, open relationship. People say all the time, she's just following him. She's just doing what he say. When I met my wife, I tell the story all the time. I said, hey, you're supposed to be my wife from day one. She said, I can
Hmm.
see that. I said, but look, let me tell you something. I know I can't never just have sex with one woman the rest of my life. I need the option. She
Hmm.
said, I think we could work some out because I cheated on every guy I ever been with. So
Hmm.
we alike. The problem
Absolutely.
is too many people are afraid they can't find somebody compatible to, so they morph themselves into being something for somebody simply to have a mate.
Yes.
That's why the people that you were in love with, you hate when it's over.
Right. And
You
I often
literally hate people.
and what I love it what you said is you explained your sexual truth. I tell people all the time, women and men need to know their sexual truth. There's two major truths you need to know about your sexual self. Number one, how many lust affairs and care relations can I handle emotionally, mentally, financially, psychologically, and sexually?
You
How
cooking.
many lust affairs and care relations can I personally handle? And you need to sit in that thinking for a while and then allow yourself to not just invite those relations, but allow them to become and show up on their own. Once they come in formation, rather than trying to curtail and put a lid on it, and you're my care relation, and you're my lust relation, and this is what I'm doing, no, let it formulate on its own.
Mm-hmm.
What we tend to do is we try to manifest and try to force stuff and we try to build it this way. I want to have it this way. Well, I know he looks like he could, we would make a cute couple. Yeah, I want to be this. I want us to showcase. I want us to be out here. I want everybody to know we're doing this. It's like, but that's not what that is.
Mm-mm.
You're forcing it. Allow it to evolve on its own and stop. Just hit your cruise control and allow your relationship to flow instead of trying to force it. And also, a lot of times we are really losing sight on how powerful we can become when we get away from trying to become what we want to be so that he'll want me more. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of women have suffered from rejection. And the rejection doesn't even necessarily have to be by a lover. It could be by the father, it could be by their mother, it could be by their family, it could be by their friends. And what that does is when you have that hurt inside, there builds this reluctance to being trustworthy of
Mm-hmm.
others. And
Mm-hmm.
so when a love affair begins to develop on its own, we start to second guess, is this person really wanting to be with me or not? And then this is where I tell you that even in love and lust affairs, purpose still holds true. If you're stuck not knowing your purpose, you will find yourself developing into a very insecure woman or man. And you're going to find yourself in your mind contemplating that this person can't possibly want to be with you because you're not in your whole highest level of self. That insecurity, whether they are only with you or not, you're going to start to conjure up suspicion.
Of course.
Suspicious energy causes a lot of toxic energy to happen in a relationship.
You know, it's funny you say that because that suspicious energy is what I think people call soul ties. It's, you know, I connected to that, like when like what you said. You said something that was so key. You have to figure out how many love affairs and care relations you can handle at one time. And
Yes.
as men, the older you get, the more you realize a love affair, if you have too many of them at one time, that shit will drive you crazy. Women,
It's
women,
demanding.
yeah,
It's
women that
demanding.
don't care about wanting some of your time. And as a man,
Demanding.
in my younger
Yeah.
days, long time ago, we all grown folks, so we gonna talk like we supposed to.
Right.
And I ain't gonna say I need you to. I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions, you know, but I'm gonna speak real.
Right.
When you have those love affairs, you have to fuck these women ever so often to keep
Yes.
them on the roster. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And you,
Right.
it's the same way with women, right? With
Absolutely.
you,
Well, for women, it depends on how you set the tone. So, for instance, for women, we don't have to necessarily. For instance,
yeah,
there's
keep it
there's
real
a there's
because
a
I
gentleman
want you to give me the opposite of what I'm
there
saying.
there's a gentleman that I work on. I do energy body work. He's in a marriage that's sexless. He doesn't have any intimacy in his actual marriage.
Yeah.
He comes to me and gets energy body work every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We are friends. So it's
Yeah.
strictly platonic, but he is completely and totally nude.
Yeah.
There is no clothing or nothing.
Like a new
And
room massage.
you know what I'm saying? So
Hey, look. We laughing, but you know he wants some of that pussy, right?
he's already stated it, but I was clear. I'm just
Yeah.
not, he's not my type.
Yeah. Yeah.
So once I set the tone of that, he knew, well, okay, our capacity is where it's at. So he allowed for the energy body work to be he calls it intercourse. Okay, if that's what you want to call it.
So let me ask you this. That's a care relationship for him. Do
Yes.
you see it? I mean, because it's monetary for you,
Yes.
but in the course of healing this man or whatever the fuck you want to call it, I'm assuming what you mean is he laying there naked and you just rubbing on the nigga, hovering over him and shit, and he's feeling good, right?
Right. Well,
Okay.
not only just that,
You
I actually go
so
from
around you.
head. I actually do chi sage. So I do a chi sage. I tap the body first with a wooden instrument, and I go through his whole body and tap his body. Then I actually use sound therapy. I
Mm-hmm.
also am attuned at Reiki level 2. So I do
Okay.
Reiki, and then I do energy body work. And energy body work moves the body.
So he be laying there humping and grinding and shit, like really.
He's in a zone. But
So
most of the time he's asleep because
yeah, you put
he checks out. But what I'm sharing with you that I
you
want
can
you to
still.
understand, what I want you to understand is because of that, we have oftentimes conversations about certain things he'll express to me that helps me in the male department, like a man's view, a man's instruction, a man's concern. He fills those gaps for me. So in other words, he'll say, you know, you need, you don't have a car right now. So, are you considering, just getting any vehicle? Because he's like, every car I've ever had was like worth $500. I've never spent more than that. And I'm looking at him like, well, that's never been my truth, as an example. So he'll say things to me to help me to see things from a male's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And then he also will tell me, hey, you might be in a downturn right now financially. You might be going through some challenges financially. You ain't going to be here long. So take advantage of some things that is available to you. So
So let
he'll
me.
say stuff like that to bring balance for me.
So
So
it's
there's where the care relationship builds on its own. But there
exactly.
is it's non-sexual, but I heal his body. I've
Well, he
healed his body on so many occasions.
my thing is this with men and women in these care relationships and these lust affairs. These
Yes.
lust affairs,
Yes.
we will do as humans what we need to do to get what we want. So
Yes.
sometimes a lust affair could be so strong that we will fake it as love, fake it as jealousy. We may bribe. We you know what I'm saying? We do anything to keep getting the sex that we want.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well,
So
and you have to remember why we do that, because in human nature we want the physical engagement. We want that touch. We want
yeah.
to feel safe. We want that. Even men, you guys love embraces and touched and hugged too. it,
Mm-hmm.
it's not it's not just gender based, it's actually human. It's a human need.
Let me ask you
And
something.
so when men tell me that they are in a sexless marriage, I tell them, well, you need to get body work. And they look at me like, why? I'm like, you're touch starved.
You're saving marriage because I would be like, man, get you some pussy, man. I don't
I tell them
respect.
that too. No,
Yeah,
I do.
I
No, I
man,
have I have told men that.
get some pussy.
Absolutely.
Look, I tell women all the time, and this is another thing that we want to talk about: the lust affair and
Right.
the care relations. I say all the time, I don't think any woman care if they man getting some pussy. I think a woman
Yeah, we
care
talked about this.
if she
Hmm.
think that man gonna leave her for that pussy. You know what I'm saying? Because I look at it like I tell women in my group all the time. I say, "How are you suspicious of your man? Checking his phone, think he fucking, but you still fucking him raw. You don't care.
Purposeless.
You don't
Purposeless.
care. You don't care that
Purposeless. That's
yeah,
why.
exactly.
Purposeless.
You're just you're concerned about that man leaving you. And like you said, if you had a purpose, that wouldn't be your number one concern is this man. Where's Dick
No.
at? It's like and men alike. I say to men all the time, I don't know how it feels to be pussy whipped. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? I don't know how that feel. I really don't because as a man, I figured once most men are the same, but then you got some I don't want to call myself an upper echelon man. I don't want to say that.
Right.
However, I'm not a guy that's haven't had beautiful women and attractive women to where I'm just gonna be pussy whipped by some woman just because she pretty or whatever,
Right.
whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Uh so when we talk about these men and women,
Hmm.
I would like to ask the guys, has anybody on here been pussy whipped before? Because I think men want the woman and I think we try to say it's a lust affair sometime when it's really some type of care relation through this woman. Because I have never been in a situation where some pussy was just so good that it had me like that. But I have been in a situation where I told the woman it was the pussy, but the woman was very nurturing to me and I didn't want her. She wasn't the type of woman that I would go with. You
Mm.
see what I'm saying? It's like for
Right.
some reason, and I'm gonna just say this, and this is a lot of times people don't. For some reason, them thought chicks, them ghetto bitches, them thought women, and let's be real, like the women that don't look like you know what I'm saying? You have a level of class about you. The
Right.
women that don't look like you,
Hmm.
they be so fucking nurturing and comforting because they ain't bothering you. They got other niggas, you know what I'm saying? Or either they just, you know what I'm saying? So I want you to speak
I'm going
on.
to put a component in here. You know, I always have something in my back pocket.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Let's also remember and think back to the first woman you saw when you opened your little beautiful brown eyes when you were a baby,
Yeah.
your mama. And one of the things that I'm trying to get men to realize is most of the time, I would say probably 90% of the time, a man is drawn to the woman that his mother is and represents, regardless of if he is not in good standing with her or not, if he's disappointed in her or not, if he doesn't really find her attractive or not. When it comes down to it, he draws to the women that look just like her.
I
Now,
would agree with that.
can he convert it? Yes. Can he change his taste? Yes. However, that takes a whole different level of work, inner work inside, because that's biochemistry. That breath, her skin, her thoughts, her wholeness as a woman, regardless of if she's a crack fiend or if she's a hoe or cooking up crack or she was doing this and doing that, and she was having men in and out of her bedroom. It doesn't matter. The reality is 9 times out of 10, the man will draw to the women that look just like her. And
I would agree with that.
You're like, man, them thoughts, bro. Like, well, let's go back
They
and
so
take a
fun.
look. Let's take a look. When we look at your mom had a representation to you.
Oh, my
right?
mom, I would put my mama in the thought category. When I say that,
Okay,
I mean,
that's my point.
meaning
That's
like
what I mean.
a Suge Avery. I call it a Suge Avery woman. A woman that's fun, that's gonna
Yeah,
do her and chase her dreams. I like women like that. I like all type of women. Like, say for example, let's just
right.
be real.
Yeah.
I know women like that ain't no good for me, but I like fucking with them. You see what I'm
But
saying?
that's because biologically, that's a biological draw
Yeah,
energetically for you. So you actually have a draw to that. It's nothing psychologically that's created inside you. It's actually a draw that you started off on the planet with. Her
yeah.
scent, her smell, her breath, all of that was
And they don't
in.
necessarily have to look like her. I'm talking about they
No,
had that free
no, I'm
spirit.
talking about when I say
Don't
look
worry
like,
me,
I'm
ain't gonna
talking
bother me. You know what I'm saying? They
right.
have
When I say look like, I'm talking about not necessarily, she can even be a whole different race.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. Women
but
that
her actual characteristics,
yeah,
what
yeah.
she draws to, how she handles herself, is going to be something you like, man, I can't help it. And you're
So
right.
let me say this real quick. So even in saying that, we know that we have more of an absence of fathers than we do an absence of mothers. So
Yes.
I always say, like you just said, a man has some type of vision or mold to pick from, and
Yes.
then men are raised by women, so we know what a thought hoe is. Like I just said, I like a certain type of woman, but I know what type of woman ain't good for me. We know
Right.
what a thought is. We know what a good woman is. I say all
Right.
the time, and I try to, women say, why do I advise them or admonish women? I'm telling women, y'all are the ones that don't have a male presence in your life, so y'all got to get fucked over 10, 12, 13 times by guys for y'all even realize what type of guy is decent or straight. And then by the time you finally come around, you realize that the guy that you think is the good guy that you never would have gave a chance, he ain't shit like everybody else. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Well,
So
and for me, what's so funny for me is I didn't realize that because I'm adopted, I had my father, yes, but I also have a biochemistry.
yeah,
So when I think back on what I'm attracted to by nature, not by draw, not by what I consciously look at and say, oh my goodness, he's so sexy. But what I just, what my body chemistry draws to comes from a biological space, but also when I got with my ex-husband, I remember my first one, I remember drawing to him because of his work ethics, which resembled my father's.
yeah,
So again, he didn't look like my dad, but his work ethic resembled him.
yeah,
So I was impressed with that. I was impressed with his go-getter speed in his soul.
yeah.
But like you're saying, we all have that. And we have to be mindful that it can also capsize us into being in a relationship that maybe isn't serving us well. For
Let's
real,
talk
for real.
about type real quick, because what you just said, it's kind
Hold
of
that thought. Let
indicative.
me get my battery's about to go dead. Hold that thought real quick.
Okay. Well, people, what we're talking about right now, we're talking about lust affairs and care relationships. Just because you fucking somebody and been fucking somebody for 10 years don't mean that they would come change your tire. Don't mean that they would show up at the hospital if you were sick. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to distinguish and get people to understand sometimes you may have a care relationship with somebody that you don't so-called love. I was talking to a woman probably about 3 months ago. And she was telling me about this guy that she was dating. And she was telling me all the things he was saying. And I'm like, this man is clearly telling you how he feels. And she was like, but other men have said that. And I'm like, but he's not other men. You know what I'm saying? And she just was like, I can't trust what he's telling me. I said, the reason you can't trust what he's telling you is because you really like him so much that you afraid to lose this situation. You can't fly unless you jump off the goddamn cliff. You know what I'm saying? There's no way you can fly unless you jump off the cliff. I think most of the times in relationships, like say for example, men have this myth in our head that if your woman cheat, she was in love with the nigga. No, your woman don't got to be in love with a nigga to cheat. Your woman could be in lust with a man to cheat, just like you can be in lust with a woman to cheat, and vice versa. A man could work with a woman. I ain't gonna front. I was on a job with a woman. Did some real shit, and a care relationship developed. I was on a job with a lady, big fat lady. She wasn't even attractive, but she was so sweet on the job and just looked out for everybody, bought people lunch, just was such a kind woman. And I could tell she had a crush. I said, man, I'm gonna get this woman some dick. I'm gonna get this big fat ugly woman some dick because she is so sweet. And man, that was some of the best pussy I ever had in my life. And we developed a long lasting relationship. And after what I thought, I was giving her some mercy dick. But this lady was just so sweet. So what you have to understand, I just had to tell that story. I don't know why, but I guess it's the point that I'm making when I say that is you be in situations with people that, like she said, you got to manage and decide, is this a lust affair? Is this a care tie? Will I get up and go change this person's tire? If his mom was sick, would I sit and listen to him? You know what I'm saying? There are some women that I've slept with that anything outside of, hey, what's up? What you doing? Where you at? It drives me mad. A woman that I had a lust affair with that texts me good morning, handsome, that shit drive me mad. Like, why is you texting me good morning like we like that? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm glad you're back. I see you done went and got a glass. You staring through the wine there. Your video is a lot clearer now too. But
Good.
get back to the Do you remember where you was? You told me to hold that thought.
I was talking about how important it is that we um realize that the lust affairs that we're in, as if we're honest, the lust affairs have a connection normally to our biochemistry,
Our
who
parents.
we
I got
our
you.
parents, yes. And I was just explaining how I was drawn to my ex-husband because of his work ethic, his work um he was a workaholic, but it was an attractor for me because I came from a father that was very hardworking. So automatically I was thinking, okay, we can match, we could work this because I'm a woman that's driven and I wanted to grow. Problem was you don't realize that a lot of times we're getting caught up in certain biochemistries, and it doesn't have anything to do with anything other than it's just what we're drawn to, but it's not necessarily the best thing for us.
I got a super dope question for you. And it's funny that you just said that. It's crazy
Okay.
how we kind of go. You said biochemistry, and it's not necessarily the best thing for us. Now, this is the question that I have.
Okay.
Do you think, say for example, you call that's your ex-husband. So it's
Right.
kind of like the question is almost already answered, but it just may be that situation. Do you
We'll just say if he was straight.
okay, yeah. So look, you proving my point. You were so attracted to the biochemistry of your father that you didn't even notice the gayness in him. You know what I'm saying? But the
Right.
question that I have for you is, do you think it's better to be with someone that you have that attraction to
Hmm.
for that biochemistry of your parent?
Hmm.
Or is it better to be attracted to someone lustfully?
Well, it depends. It depends on your season in life. Because if I'm trying to procreate, build a family, build a husband and wife relation, my objective or what I'm looking for in a love affair is completely different than when I'm already done with all that. I'm an empty nester. I just want to enjoy my time with who I'm involved with. And there's no expectations. There's no procreation going on. There's nothing demanding him to be of a certain status with me. Those
Now
are two different seasons.
let me ask that question differently.
Okay.
Do you think it's better or a relationship will last longer if y'all are attracted to each other chemistry wise,
Hmm.
or if y'all have that
Lust,
uh
lust for each other.
no, not I'm asking a question because I it's crazy because I'm asking this question because I really feel like if you don't have chemistry with somebody, you're just using them for what you can get out of them. So it's like
Hmm.
I almost don't want to ask it. It's almost like I don't even want to know your mind if I don't have a chemistry for you. You know how people be like, you got to get to know their mind and know their soul and know their spirit. Well, if
Hmm.
I don't have a chemistry attraction for you, I don't even want to talk to you. So what I'm asking you is, do
Right.
you think that chemistry will hold a relationship together longer and stronger, or do you think we were sitting there talking. I didn't even notice him. But after we talked a while, I realized we went to the same college. We grew up in the same Pentecostal church. And it's like you got so much in common. What
In
do you think?
common, yeah.
Yeah, what do you, chemistry or common? Let's call it CNC, chemistry or common.
Well, I think that it would be the commonality may last longer. I'll use as an example who I don't know, people watch Shannon Sharp's podcast, but
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp had talked to Cheryl Underwood, and they discussed about having a moment in time where they were,
I saw
kind of into each other. And I sat there and watched that whole video, very impressed with their intrigue of each other. I just think that Cheryl personally, and this is no strike on her, I just don't think she matches Shannon's physical aesthetics.
Your screen flipped. And I'm gonna tell you what I think about that. I think she don't like black niggas. Because as I watched them, it was like he went backstage looking for her. Carla, you know your screen flip. He went backstage looking for her and they hung out. So Shannon was trying to get that pussy. That's an NFL football player. You're an upcoming comic. But I wonder, did she freeze up? Carla. Yeah, her screen went upside down. I'm just gonna talk until she get back. I think chemistry is more important. Chemistry is more important. I say all the time, the funny thing about me and my wife is okay, she froze. She must gonna come back in. Me and my wife can be on an island stranded for 100 days, 300 days straight. We just have a chemistry for each other. You know what I'm saying? All that got in common shit, we ain't know that until we got to know each other. It's like you got to dig a person and be intrigued by a person before you even get to know all of that stuff. I want to piggyback and go back into something I was saying earlier about like and love. I would rather be liked than loved, because everybody that I've ever loved, or everybody that say they ever loved me romantically, I wouldn't piss on that motherfucker. I hate them. They've tried to destroy me. Every woman that I have ever loved or been in love with or was in a monogamous relationship with, or a situation where we weren't friends and we was going together or married, they can't fucking stand me and I can't fucking stand them. But every woman that I have liked and we didn't have the pressure of a relationship and all that shit, we still cool to this day. I'd rather be liked than loved. I don't think love is a real thing. I think people don't understand that people are going to be with who does the duty. Do your duty. Meaning that love shit goes out of the window when you don't do what you originally did. When you lose your worth in a situation, that love shit go out of the window, because I see it happen all the time. People can say, for example, let me go ahead and I want to talk to Carla about this, but she's gone. I don't think women are capable of love. I don't think women are capable of love. Now, let me explain what I mean. Now, women, y'all just listen to me for a second so you can understand what I'm saying. When you don't get to pick what you want, you can't love it. Men are capable of love because we choose what we want. You see what I'm saying? A man goes out and sees the woman he wants and chooses her and goes and pursues her. Now, she may reject him. Now, he finds somebody else that he wants. But a woman is always on the end of being chosen, meaning 10 guys approach me. I didn't necessarily want now one of them, but I have to accept the best of them 10. You see what I'm saying? So I always feel like a woman is always looking for something else better, because what she has now is not what she originally wanted. You see what I'm saying? I believe men love unconditionally. Men fall in love. Women have to fall in love. Now, get what I'm saying? Men love at first sight. Pretty woman walking down the street. Y'all seen the movie Pretty Woman? This woman was a whore. This man knew off top that's who he wanted. A woman have to fall in love. Whenever we use the word fall, that denotes being tricked or convinced. I fell in love with him. What does that mean? I ain't love him at first, but he did so much and acted right, and I fell for him. See, a man don't have to fall for a woman. He look up and said, like Bugs Bunny eyes, just fucking fire run out of his mouth, and he know right then. A woman has to fall for a man. What do you mean? Well, when I met you, you ain't nothing intriguing about you. You got to convince me. What do you got? What can you do? How do you make me feel? Girl, I fell for him. Girl, you know, when I first met Javon, he wasn't my type, but you know, after a while, I fell for him. He convinced me. He did some things. He offered some things. And the second that shit stopped, his ass is on skates. His ass is grass. Women engage in hyperbole. If another man comes along that can take care of them better, his ass is grass because he's not who she wanted anyway. I wish Carla was still here so I can get her opinion on that, because you'll be amazed at the knowledge that you gain after you get older. The thing I like about Miss Carla, her main thing is me-ogamy. She's about herself. Polygamy or monogamy, she's about her purpose. That's her biggest thing. Once you decide and find what your purpose is and what you want to do in life, it don't matter if you got a living boyfriend, a guy that you fuck here and there. It don't matter, because you're so focused on what you got to do. You know what you got to do. So me and my wife, for example, my wife is working, trying to get her PhD. She's so focused on her PhD. Each other, our lives is tied together. But my wife ain't waking up wondering where I'm at, what I'm doing, where I'm going. My wife is in the library. My wife is a school teacher. She's studying. She is being a mother. She's got such a strong purpose that when I'm gone, she's not wondering where my dick at. When you don't have a purpose, when you don't have anything going on in life, all you care about is where my mate at. I used to tell my wife, it's funny because women know this when a woman is out and about or at work and she out and about, she can get off work and go to the mall. She can go shopping. She can go get something to eat. But the second she get in that motherfucking house, she want her nigga there if he ain't at work. A woman can get up Saturday morning and go to the flea market. She can go play bingo. She can go get her nails done. She can go get her hair done. But as soon as she get back to that motherfucking house, hey baby, where you at? What you doing? Where you at? Damn, baby. You was just out all day. I ain't call you asking you where you at, what you doing. That's a woman with no purpose. That's how my wife used to be. My wife used to be a hairdresser, and there's nothing wrong with that. But she felt like that was purposeless. I was kind of like, yo, you make a lot of motherfucking money doing hair. You know what I'm saying? You go quit that and put all the responsibility on me and go to school. But you know what I'm saying? But my wife, you know what I'm saying? She decided that she didn't have purpose. And once she decided that she wanted to go to school and get her PhD, man, she ain't need all them motherfucking texts during the day. Hey, how you doing? Where you going? What you doing? Hey. It's once you have purpose, you don't mind being vulnerable. See, when you ain't got purpose, you mind being vulnerable. It's like if a woman get off work and if she normally home by 6 o'clock and her husband ain't got no purpose, he nervous. Where my wife at? He call her. Hey, honey, we ain't got no salt. She like, okay, well, how long before you get here with the salt? See, he ain't got no purpose, so he worried about where she at, and he won't be vulnerable. He won't say, hey, baby, it's 6 o'clock. I miss you. You know I'm home by now. You know, that might make that woman or that man feel good. But if you try to trick them into telling you what time they come home, Hey, I just want you to know I'm at the house chilling. What you want to eat tonight? I'm about to order pizza. I just want to know how long before you get here so I can know what time to order it. This motherfucker ain't got no purpose. He ain't got no purpose. He ain't got shit going on. He didn't got off work. You know what I'm saying? And all he want to know is where his woman at. We have to understand what she says is calling the code, device not connected. She about to come back in. There we go.
Who is
I
doing the most?
I got a question for you because I was talking about this and I forgot the question that I really wanted to ask you.
I remember where I left off, so just let me know if you need me to go back where I was at.
Go ahead. I'm gonna think about my question.
So
Go ahead.
I was saying that when we look at just I was talking about Cheryl Underwood and Shannon Sharp, and I was saying how there is a strong chemistry there.
Yeah.
But I just don't think that she matches his physical appeal to enough degree to hold his attention.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and you know what funny? And I was saying for him to go backstage and holler at her and take her out, I think Shannon was trying to smash. And you know, a lot of times black on black jet black women don't like no jet black nigga. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times they be like, but let me say this, Miss Carla, real quick. If you have a question for me or Miss Carla, I'm putting the links up. You can see a link for Facebook right here. You can see the link for YouTube. So if you have a question for me as Miss Carla, you can come in. We want to open the floor up to the people because some people might have a question and it might be a question that lead into another discussion or a very valuable lesson. Miss Carla, question.
Absolutely.
Do you think when it comes to care relations and lust affairs, do you think a person can effectively serve two at one time and both situations get everything they need?
Yes.
Explain.
If they're within their capacity. If they're within
Okay.
their capacity, and that's what I was talking about earlier. You need to know your capacity. You personally need to know your sexual truth. The number one thing about sexual truth is being honest with self. And this is where a lot of women fall short or faulty with this. But I help women to understand without shame to look at her sexual self. I'm talking about what I'm talking about is deep diving into when you're mostly sexually moved. Sexuality is our creative energy. That's what sex is. If we just put it all in a nutshell.
Yeah.
We share sexual energy because we create. Creativity comes from sexuality. That's what it's for. So what I always help women to think about is know thy sexual self by paying attention to when you are mostly sexually moved on your own without a man beside you. How often are you masturbating? And in your masturbation, are you just doing clitoral stimulation or are you doing vaginal penetration? There's a reason why I'm asking. These are things you need to know as a woman. If you are only into clitoral stimulation, then most of the time you just want to be intimate with a man for oral sex or for, fingering and stuff like that. You're not really wanting the penetration. I get it, but why? Ask yourself these things. We have a lot of sister circles going on. We got a lot of talking going on, but we're really not addressing the fact that ladies are not taking advantage of the 5 ways that they can be orgasmic with a lover. Because 9 times out of 10, I say all the time, most women took pipe too soon before they were ready, really developed to handle it, if you
So
know
let
what
me
I
ask you
mean.
something, Miss Carla. This is one of the biggest things I see in talking to people in relationships. And this is crazy because like people always say his wife is following him. My wife was the one that we be poly. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times women want to be in relationships with men and we haven't discussed sex, you know, and they
No.
haven't discussed that a man might want to fuck 2-3 nights a week, 5 nights a week, and he
Yes.
might be bringing some pressure, and he might not want to pull out. Then you got the man coming in the woman, she walking around squishy all the time, and then sometimes he putting too much pressure on her. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So you
Right.
got situations where women don't understand that a lot of times, since we talk about lust affairs and care
Hmm.
relations, a man could be in a true care relationship with a woman like really, really tuned in and locked in, and it be a situation where the woman come to you and it be like, hey, look, is it okay? I think it's cool for you to get another woman because I can't take this dick. I can't take this pound and you putting on me, and you
Right.
want it too often.
Yeah.
So like when you say
That's knowing thy sexual self right there. You know what you can take.
exactly,
You
and
know what you can sexually hate. And remember, I just told you that a woman needs to know in her own personal masturbation, how is she masturbating? Is she masturbating with penetration or without? That's huge because
yeah,
that lets a woman know how often she can take penetration and also what size is best for you.
yeah.
Do you know? Do you know where your capacity is? Do you know where you tap out? I just can't do all that. That's too much.
Yeah, exactly. And
You
do
need to know these
you want to
things.
be getting calmed on in the face and
Yeah,
all that?
like you need to
Shit
know what you're
need
okay
to be
with and what you're
discussed.
not. Yes,
And then,
absolutely. And these are all sexual truths.
and if you're not that, if
Yes.
you're not that's
Hmm.
the thing. And I really want women to understand.
Hmm.
Men want to be honest.
Yes.
Men want
But
to
they
tell
but
the
they
truth.
get penalized for it.
We're penalized for it. Men
Yes.
want to be honest. Uh
Yes.
Do you like my dress? Am I getting fat? You know good and goddamn well you goddamn bigger than you was when you bought that motherfucking dress. You get
Right.
men wish that we could be honest, but
Yes.
most of the time men aren't honest because they're afraid. I just never liked the woman enough not to tell her the truth. Meaning I'm 6'6", I'm tall, I'm
Yeah.
handsome, I like
Yeah.
you, I want to
Right.
marry you, but I ain't
Yeah.
fucking just you. Come on, be for real. Be for
Right.
fucking real. And I know you ain't fucking just me. You know,
Right.
it's certain things like I joke all
However,
the
but
time.
I do want to say, and I know this is gonna go against your rhetoric because I
Yeah.
know that when you're poly, I know y'all poly people, y'all be die hard. Don't tell me I can't have another. But let me tell you something. If you get up there and find yourself to be in a season that you just are in there a lot and there's nobody stopping it, there's nobody putting the pause button on or saying, this is too much, and you really just are into each other, and there's no room for somebody else to come in it because you guys are always up in each other's space, that can happen too. It can evolve into mono. And it's
Of
not that,
course.
and let me say, mono, if it's evolved into it, isn't a negative. If
No, not
it
at
is
all.
in a sexual space that both of you are fulfilled solidly in each other's space, it is what it is. We're enough.
Of
But
course. See,
but
this
it's
is the
not a
thing.
demand. But what it's not doing, it's not curtailing you from being in yourself. I can still be flirtatious. I can
Mhm.
still be cool. I can still have my friendships. I can still have my conversations with men. I can still entertain and flirt with men. I don't have to turn off all of this because me and you are this. But
Exactly. I think what people don't
a lot of
understand.
men have a hard time with it. They have
I,
a hard time with a woman being flirtatious when she's with him. But I tell them all the time, it
I
works
think
to your
men
advantage
I think
if
men
a
are
woman is sexy.
I think what people don't realize is this: when your mom tell you don't go to 4th Street, the first thing you're gonna do is go to 4th Street.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
I've been there before. Part of this is what I'm trying to say. When you're free to do what you want to, the love and the freedom
Yes.
actually constrains you. That's the scripture in the Bible. The love I have for Christ constrains me.
Yes.
The fact that my woman lets me do what I want to do makes me love her so much that
Yes.
I don't want no bitches. I don't want no bitches.
No.
However, the
Well,
option
and
is
and when
always
we
there.
always there, and a lot
I
of
lie.
times when we're if
I'm not gonna be no liar. I got to have the option, but I don't got no
but
women.
the
You know what
what
I'm saying? I don't want no.
but it's powerful though, because a lot of times we as women have been taught to spend most of our time policing our men's penis and what he's doing with it.
Of course, of course,
But it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time and energy because his penis is not connected to you.
exactly.
Your
And if
vagina
all
is.
you
Pay
worried about
attention
is
to that.
his dick, if all you worried about is his dick, that's all you can please.
Right.
You ain't.
And
You
maybe
worried.
not. Because sometimes the skills really aren't there. And a lot of times when women are so focused on that, half the time they're the ones playing with it.
Yeah, I mean that's their
You
only
know, if
perceived
I'm
skill.
honest, yeah, if I'm honest, I've seen more women that play with it more concerned about what he's doing with it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't
Mm-hmm.
see women that are intimate with their man spending all their time trying to scope and see what he's doing. Because
Nah, nah.
I know, and you remember the last time we had this conversation. Remember, I said you're a man and you can only penetrate one woman at a time. So if me and you are getting it in, there ain't no other woman at this point,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just think
right?
when it's all said and done, uh care relationships and lust affairs can
Hmm.
be equally and mutually good if the honesty is there. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
Like, say
absolutely.
for
Yes,
example, as a man, I know for a fact there's certain things that I'm just not. So when the joke of that's where the joke of the work husband or the work wife came from. You know what I'm saying?
right, right.
But
Yeah,
that's that person that I'm not. There's certain things I'm just not. And I
right.
can't expect my wife to say she don't ever want to flirt or have certain. I mean, Carl, I've seen people that they won't even let their mate dance. When they go out, they can't even
Right.
dance with another person. You know what I'm saying?
It's
And
insecurities.
and
Insecurity.
but everybody, like I said, I don't want to call it that because everybody, I think I got my own thoughts, but everybody got their own thing. I ain't trying to get people to be like me. I'm trying to get people to be
Right.
honest. Just be honest with each
Yes.
other. If you
Know
know
your sexual truth. If you know
exactly,
your sexual truth, if a man has a woman that's very flirtatious, she's spicy, she's cute, she's sexy, he knows that when she walks out the door, without a shadow of a doubt, she's going to get approached.
yeah,
It doesn't make any sense for him to bring his mental health down into a plunged position because he's worrying about what she's going to say.
mm-hmm,
Invite her in. Tell her, be about you. I'm not going to stop you from the approaches. Matter of fact, most men, and I said this earlier, most men desire to be with a woman who's highly desired.
of
Most
course,
men don't want nobody no other man wants. It's just not true. So
of
when a
course,
man when a man is eerily concerned, then that means it's something within himself that he's not looking at, which is 9 times out of 10 his lack in vision, his lack in purpose. Men that are purposeful know their women are getting hit on. How many was it today, girl? I know they was at you. Who is it this time? And they laugh, they talk, they vibe about it. And he gets to see, well, how are these men approaching my woman? What did you say to him? Did you kiki and caca with him and exchange numbers? Or what happened? Tell me. I'm not, it's no foul. I'm just curious.
Let
How
me
he
ask
came
you
at
something.
you, were you moved?
Why do you think
I mean,
why
this
why
is
do you
important.
why do you think when it comes down to it to the lowest level possible, when somebody meets somebody, we
Mhm.
immediately, most people send their representative out as like a spy to talk to that person. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And they curve and they morph into whatever they need to be. This is sets this up for our next conversation. I want to talk about love languages because I don't believe in them, and I want to see what you know what I'm saying. Because what I was saying earlier while you was gone, I was saying a woman falls for a man. She has to fall in love with a man, meaning a
Mhm.
man has to woo her. To say I fell for him denotes I didn't like him at first, or he won me over. So whatever he
Mhm.
did to win me over, he better fucking keep doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Otherwise, his
The
ass,
maintenance,
yeah.
the love
Otherwise,
maintenance.
exactly. Otherwise, his ass gonna be
Mhm.
on skates. We got Miss Delise in. Miss Delise, I want you to come in. Do you got a question? We getting close to the end, so we want you to ask your question for whoever you want to ask it to, and we're gonna move forward. How you doing, sister?
I'm fabulous.
How you doing? You got a question for me or Miss
No, I
Carla?
got a statement. I
Okay.
know what lust affairs are. I knew what a love affair was, but that person passed away. She gave me the keys to Joe's keys. But a lust affair, and my definition is that there's no emotional attachment. Okay, there's no emotion with it. You're there to release. That person's there to release. I call it get it, got it, gone.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, hey, it's mutual. Because I've been in a lust affair and that person decided they want to come back. And I'm like, been there, done that. I don't moved on to the next bus. That's the old bus. I'm in there with a new Corvette. Each lust affair is different, and each person is. And truthfully, the care relationship, I had that. I never had a lust affair. I fell in love with, like you said, a woman. Some women can fall in love instantly if you know what love is. But yeah, lust affairs, and I like the new word care relations, because love affairs is something like fairy tales to me. Nah, I'm 56 and I'm loving the new me.
That's what's up. I appreciate your
Lust
comments,
affairs
sis.
are like, it's not the me arguing me, it's all about me finding me, dressing me up. Like today, I went out. I'm like, phone started ringing. Men I had to talk to, and God knows when. Girl, where you been?
I appreciate your comments, sister. We're gonna let somebody else get on.
Thank you.
Does anybody else want to come on and ask Miss Carla a question? We want people to ask questions, but like I said, we welcome comments. But we know anytime, in just being real, when person start giving comments, you're gonna talk a long goddamn time. And I'm just not gonna let you talk a long time because people here to talk to me and Miss Carla. So if you got a question, if you got a comment, we're gonna keep your comments to like a minute. Just being real, you know what I'm saying? But Miss Carla,
Yes.
like I was saying before, the lovely Miss Delise came on, and that's one of your students in your class, right? Tell the people about your
One
class
of my
real quick.
clients.
What you do?
I do a lot of coaching, and I'm really getting ready to do a new workshop for men and women, but I do workshops, and I really try to involve people in first starting with purpose before they get into love or lust affairs. But she has been with me for almost damn near 3 years, and she's come a
Yeah,
long way. But we have worked on how she got to the lust affair. She had to
yeah.
do a lot of self work first.
Yeah, I know the last time she was on the show, she spoke on how much you've actually helped her. So just to have a witness, like in the church, they say, "Can I get a witness?" You got a witness.
Right.
Uh, I want to say something to myself.
Okay.
I think the lust affairs and the care relations are as equally valuable as a married man.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I think
Yes.
they're equally valuable. The older I get, the less lust
Mm-hmm.
affairs I need, and the
Why?
less care relationships I need. However, the care
But
relationship.
why? I'm curious. Why?
Well, my camera went out, but I'm gonna keep talking for
I
now.
see.
So
No,
you
you're good. It's coming.
you're
It's trying to come back.
yeah, you're asking me why the older I get, the less
why?
lust.
Why? Why are your lust affairs not as highly needed um as it used to be? Why is that?
Because women can't just get fucked. Like I'm gonna be honest with you. With lust affairs with me in the last whatever years, since I've been popular on social media, women just be wanting to fuck me. And
Right.
I try not to engage. Every now and then I done broke down and fucked one, and they acted a
Right.
goddamn fool for no reason. And I'm like, you fucked a guy from social media. Like you flew into North Carolina and fucked a guy from social media. And
Right.
why and who's openly married in a poly open relationship? Why the fuck are you acting like this is something? You know what I'm saying? You trying to make me think you is so in love with the dick. I don't know what it is, but I'm just
Right.
like, it's just crazy to me. Like I have no time for anything that's not truthful. And for me, I'm honest with women. I'll tell a woman
Mm-hmm.
straight up, you don't have access to me. I have access to you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I call you when I want to see you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a busy man. I got a wife. I got a daughter. I'm a busy man. I call you when I want to see you. You may call me and catch me on a day that I
Right.
want to see you, but for the most part, you're not going to be able to see me when I see you. So if this ain't
Yeah.
just a pure lust affair that you want to see what I'm working with, and you got
Right.
some ulterior motive, your feelings gonna get hurt. So that's why at my age I can't do it. I can't
Okay.
do it. Let me
Well, I
switch.
just wanted to hear that because I
Switch my
think
camera real quick. See, can I
okay.
switch my camera back to
Well, while you're doing that, I wanted to say while you're in fixing that, I wanted to say the reason that I think it's imperative that we talk about knowing our sexual truth is because a lot of times, if we're unaware of our own personal sexual needs, we can't convey it to a lover or to a partner or to a spouse or to our partners that we are involved with.
keep talking. I'm gonna
And
change my battery real quick. Keep talking.
okay, no. And so when we're unable to converse and express and articulate our own sexual truth, then we end up finding ourselves in situationships or in awkward relations with people, and we're like doing things with them that maybe is out of order because we're trying to impact our relationship into a lust affair, and maybe it should not be that. Maybe they're more for a care relationship. So again, we have to look at everything and start to get a little more creative. But I do say this, I would be very mindful to know that care relationships or care relations has a higher demand. I'm not talking about sexually, I'm talking about psychologically. I'm talking about just having access to you and your time. So, love, or should I say, care relations requires more from you. Lust affairs is just, quickly planned, in and out, and we move on. So, they're not as demanding. And if we're honest, if we learn, oh, I'm able or capable to manage 2, maybe 3 care relations at a time, and then I'm good at maybe 3 to 4, lust affairs at a time, have them on rotation or whatever, and I'm good. We just need to know for ourselves our mental health and our mental stability and emotional awareness for women is very important.
So
So
Miss
we
Carla,
as women need to know.
let me ask you something. And this ain't delving too much in your personal life, but you were, when you were saying the numbers, like could you juggle 2 or 3 of these or 4 or 5 of
Mm-hmm.
these?
Yeah.
I think most people that are
Mm-hmm.
attractive people that aren't in committed relationships or even are, I think most people have 3 or 4 people they're in relationships with. What do you think about that? As far as like, I'm not going to say how many care relationships and lust affairs, but I think most people
Mm-hmm.
are dealing with 3 people. What do you think?
I agree. Absolutely. And it doesn't even have to be sexual. It could be
Exactly.
emotional. It could be financial. It could be like I told you with my one client. It's something necessary to keep his mental health okay.
Okay, so
And I realized that that's going to keep him in balance.
we got 153 people on the live tonight. So we got a lot of new people who aren't familiar with you. Explain to them
Right.
your situation with your friend and Miyagi. Like, explain to them like how long you and your friend, because I need these people to see the humanness in you, because for some reason
Mm-hmm.
people tend, and I'm not saying anything about your character, but for some reason people tend to think a well-spoken, beautiful woman, college education. For some reason, we seem to think that y'all are like I call it the golden handcuffs. Like we look at some women and be like,
Mm-hmm.
she's more innocent. She da, 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 da. So explain your situation to the people, and your concept of Miyagi.
So I have an issue with capping on relationships. So I have been in a life partnership with my partner for 11 years now, and it was more mission driven. So we have a similar mission because we both know our purpose. I'm on the planet to inspire lives, to encourage people, to help transition people out of their madness, to give them more understanding of how to get more grounded and more aware of their self awareness, and then encouraging them to, just get better in life, be more aware, be more present. He is just as focused on the same thing, but he has his own mission, but we have a joint mission. So because of that, we decided, and was spiritually driven to become life partners. In that, there is no marriage, there is no demands, there is no you can't and you can't. We don't have that. We're best friends. We do what we do and we keep it moving, but we keep it fresh. And I'm very up to the minute in knowledge of who he is. So I don't have the older version of him lodged in my mind and claiming to know him. No, I'm up to the minute. We talk all the time. We're very up to the minute on what each other needs are, what we've been through, and things of that nature.
So
Now,
you
why I create.
So you and him have the
Go
type
ahead.
of relationship where in Miyagi, if you meet somebody new or if somebody flirting with you or vice versa, y'all can talk to
Mhm.
each other about that because y'all have that
Oh my
that
God.
understanding. Uh
We do it all the time. Yes.
explain how this is a pure 11-year care relation, and
Yeah.
explain why you can be so happy in this situation and with women who want to be married so bad or want to say that's
Mhm.
my man. Explain how you got to that point where you can be in a situation like that, because some people would just say you're a glorified side chick. That's what some people would say.
Right.
You know that, right? So break that down for
Absolutely. Well, I found out that I finally got over wanting to possess a man. Having him be mine was exhausting me. It was costing me. It was creating a madness in me. And I'm a Capricorn woman. So we crazy as hell. We have to have what we want. So once I realized, let all that stuff go, man. Like, just get away from wanting a man to be your husband. Stop trying to get your man to be your fiance. Stop trying to create all this stuff. Get out of that man, this man created thinking. and start allowing for everything that you want and need to be created spiritually. Get off the boats. Get off
So
the
let me ask you
mattress.
this. Now, you've been married twice before, right?
Yes, God, yes.
So this ain't like this woman ain't been married. So do you think you haven't been
Mhm.
married twice before has got you to that point of freedom? Because you got some sisters that's never been married, and for you to just
Yes.
say, stop wanting to claim a man, they
Hmm.
never been married. First of all, some of them want to be married, some of them want that big wedding day. So it's
Yeah.
easy for you to just say, stop trying to claim a man, own a man. You've been married twice. You see what I'm saying? That's no
Yeah.
different than when I was in church. The older women would tell the younger women, abstain from lust. I'm like, you old 75, dried up. This big woman 24 and looking good.
Right.
It's fucking harder for her. So
Right. Absolutely.
explain how those married get to the point where she can say, hey, because it sounds like you're saying, hey, look, if it come, it come. If it do, it do. If it don't, it don't. Explain. And I know the answer, but I want you to explain it because I want to clip it. Explain how you get to the point where you can say, hey, I don't want or need to control a man or claim a man as my own.
I got to this place once I decided in my own spirit that all I asked the spirit to give me was what I need. When I got out of the car of life and said, after my last divorce, I got out of the car, and I make this animated so that you can understand it and everybody that's listening. I was driving the car of life. And every time I was driving to get in a love affair, to get in a marriage, to be with a man, it ended up in a ditch or in an accident. So after my last plunged, my car was in a ditch. The car of life was in a ditch. I decided I'm going to get out. And I looked up to the spirit and said, I'm done. You take it from here. Use me for whatever I need to do while I'm here on the planet. Use me. For real, use me. I am going to entrust you, the spirit, to give me everything I need. I got out of the
So,
car of life and sat in the passenger seat, buckled up, and the car's been cruise controlling ever since.
and that's for
That's
the
been
last
about
11 years with your
11 years ago.
yeah, look, I said, sound like it's sweet. But see, this is the thing that's so cool that men say to women. It's so esoteric. The Bible said when a man find a wife, he finds a good thing. It's like a woman is
Yeah.
a flower floating in the wind. And if she just be herself and be the purpose of a flower, you will get found and chosen. It may not be
Yeah.
a husband. It may be a
No.
long-lasting care relationship. You
Yes.
kind of see what I'm saying. So
Yes.
we gonna get out of here, like I said, and me and you gotta talk, you know what I'm saying? We trying to grow the audience.
Right.
We might have to go live more. We might have to
Yes.
look into some different subjects that people want to talk about. But
Right.
other than that, man, we appreciate y'all for staying
Yes.
tuned in, tapped in, and turned on.
Yes.
Right now, we do this every Wednesday at 9 p.m. I'm guarantee you're gonna see us more very soon. You might see us tomorrow night. You never know. You never know. I'm
You
gonna
never know. Yes.
but I appreciate
And
y'all.
don't forget, I want you guys to also visit my channel. It's Coaching Matters on YouTube. So go over there and subscribe to my channel. And also I have a Patreon, which is Carla Nicole on Patreon, and Javon is a member now, so he can.
Mhm. So, Miss
So
Delise, go ahead
yes,
and pop that up for the people. And
yes,
this is something that I want you guys to do. And I thought about it. I want to create a watch squad. After you seen this live, go back at some point and just watch it. Put that bitch on play when you sleep. You know what I'm saying? That
Yes.
helps us get views. It helps the algorithm. I'm gonna chop some of these things up and put them out, man, because you said a lot of stuff tonight. You said a lot of stuff tonight, and the biggest thing that I took from it is like, yo, know what you can manage, how many lust affairs you can manage, how many care relations you can manage. What was the word? Know your sexual what?
Truth. Know your sexual truth.
How
We ought
horny are
to
you?
call it know thy sexual truth.
Know thy sexual truth. Know thy sexual
Absolutely.
truth. You gotta know what
Yes.
you willing and not willing to do before you get in this
Because when
relationship.
you're sharing your body,
A woman.
Javon, it's so important. When we're sharing our body, we're sharing a space, a time with someone.
Mm.
So we need
I
to make
appreciate
sure
y'all.
that if we're particular.
Y'all stay tuned in, tapped in, turned on. 9 p.m. What's up, Instagram? I think Instagram. I shared it to Instagram tonight. Instagram in the house. Oh, okay. Now I see. Now I realize I could go over and look at the comments on Instagram too. So we appreciate y'all.
Fill me in. What are you seeing over there? What are they saying? I think we have a chat in here too. I don't think you saw it.
And we have a chat in here. And what we want to do is, so the people know, we want to start bringing people on.
Yes.
Just so y'all know, I want to feature a lot of women on my channel. I want to have guest hosts with women. I want to have panels for women, discussions for women, because like I said, I'm going to have some stuff for men too. But I do believe, because the women are the teachers of the children and the women are left with the children, the women need more help, instruction, admonishment, and guidance. I don't think you can go out and say, hey, all deadbeat daddies and niggas that's didn't abandon your kids, we want you to come learn from me on my podcast. So I think we need to address the women. But I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Miss Carla, we see you tomorrow. I'll talk to you later. Y'all have a good one.
Okay, babe. Good night.
Peace.